Hello students, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to discuss about class 12's the chapter integration. So integration is an inverse process of differentiation. This is our main concept. Inverse process of differentiation. Okay. Now suppose you all know that ddx of suppose x square ddx of x square will be 2x. Ddx of sine x will be cos x. Like that, you can find out any ddx. I'm taking one exponential function. This will be e to the power x. Okay. Now, these three functions are actually derived functions of x square, sin x and e to the power x. So we say that x square is an antiderivative of 2x. Okay, so we say that x square is an 2x is derivative of 2x x square and x square is an antiderivative of 2x. Antiderivative of 2x. Similarly, sin x is an antiderivative of cos x. E to the power x itself is an antiderivative of e to the power x. Now, we can say that in place of this, if we write down ddx of x square plus c, then also we will get 2x, the same derivative. Ddx of sin x plus c, we will get the same derivative, right? Similarly, e to the power x plus c, we will get e to the power x. Therefore, we can say that antiderivatives of a particular function, are not unique. They are not unique. That means there exists infinitely many or infinite numbers of antiderivatives of each of these functions, right? Infinitely many. Okay, so generally what we can say that if there is a function f such that ddx of that function is another function, so small fx, for all x belongs to I is the interval, then for any arbitrary real number c, and this c is called constant of integration. Okay, this is called constant of integration. So for any arbitrary real number c, we can say that ddx of f of x plus c equals to the same function for all x belongs to I. Okay, so generally we can say it. The same function has infinite numbers of antiderivatives. Okay. Now, we can take a remark from this that functions with same derivatives differ by a constant, because this is the constant. So functions with same derivatives, this will be the same derivatives. We can take f of x plus c may be anything. So you can see that suppose g of x and h of x. So g of x will be f of x plus suppose c1 and h of x will be f of x plus suppose c2, because they both have same derivatives. Suppose f of x, this is the derivative for g of x and h of x, then we can see that these two will be just differing by a constant, that is suppose c1 minus c2 or c2 minus c1, ultimately that will be a constant. Now notation of integration, normally how we write down dy dx equals to f of x, so it's antiderivative, that means y is the antiderivative of f of x, and particularly we write it like this: y is equals to integration of f of x dx. Y, this is the sign of integration, f of x dx. Okay, now there are some well-known derivatives and their antiderivatives, that means integrals. Integrals of these known derivatives. These are there in your book also. Now look, there are 15 derivatives given, and according to them 15 antiderivatives also given in terms of integration. So ddx of x to the power n plus 1 divided by n plus 1 equals to x to the power n. Particularly we can say ddx of x equals to 1. Here antiderivative, so integration of x to the power n will be this one. Integration of x to the power n dx equals to x to the power n plus 1 divided by n plus 1 plus c. While we are doing indefinite integral, means normal like these integrals, there is no limit given for the integration, then this constant must be used. Constant for integration must be used. Okay, so here also dx, integration dx equals to x plus c. Sin x is derivative cos x, that means cos x is antiderivative sin x. Generally we can say integration of cos x equals to sin x plus c. Similarly minus cos x and derivative sin x, so sin x integration will be minus cos x. ddx of tan x sec square x, so integration sec square x equals to tan x plus c. ddx of minus cot x equals to cosec square x, so integration cosec square x dx equals to minus cot x plus c. ddx of sec x equals to sec x tan x, integration sec x tan x equals to sec x plus c. ddx of minus cos x equals to cosec x cot x, integration of cosec x cot x dx equals to minus cosec x plus c. ddx of sin inverse x equals to 1 by root over of 1 minus x square. So the opposite one, integration of this equals to sin inverse x. Similarly, integration of this will be minus cos inverse x plus c. Integration of 1 by 1 plus x square equals to tan inverse x plus c. And then integration of 1 by 1 plus tan x, 1 by 1 plus x square equals to minus cot inverse x plus d. 1 by integration of 1 by x root over of x square minus 1 dx equals to sec inverse x plus c, and integration dx divided by x root over of x square minus 1 equals to minus cosec inverse x plus c. ddx of e to the power x itself. So integration e to the power x dx equals to e to the power x plus c. ddx of log of mod x equals to 1 by x. So integration 1 by x dx equals to log of mod x plus c. ddx of a to the power x divided by log a equals to a to the power x. So integration a to the power x dx equals to a to the power x divided by log a plus c. So these are all 16 very well known derivatives and their antiderivatives. You can say it's integrals. Now there are some properties of indefinite integrals. So actually there are these 5 properties. I have already written it down. So the first property is ddx of f of x integration f of x dx equals to f of x, and integration of f dash x dx equals to f of x plus c. It means the process of differentiation and integration are inverses of each other in the sense of these results. Okay. Process of differentiation and process of integration, these two processes are inverses of each other. Number 2, two indefinite integrals with the same derivatives lead to the same family of curves, and so they are equivalent. This is the second property. Third one, addition of two functions and then its integration will give us the result integration of individual functions addition. Okay. Number 4, if we multiply any constant, any real constant to a function and then take its integration, and it will be equal to that function into integration of that constant into integration of that function. So literally we can say then that if we get this type of form, we can take the constant out of the integration sign. So number 3 and number 4 together we can write in this way, that for many numbers, actually for infinite number of functions, we can write it in this way, and then we can take individual integrations, and similarly for by property 4 we can write down all constants outside the integration sign. So related to this, we can easily try to do the sums from exercise 7.1 NCERT 12 part 2. This is the book, and there exercise 7.1 is there. So there are many questions depending on whatever we have done today in this session. So I hope everybody can try it out by their own, and for sure they will get positive results out of this session. So with that hope, this is all about today's session, and we will meet in the next session. Till then, have a good day.